Hey everyone, this is Lynn Wilson. Welcome back to my home. I'm glad you're here tonight. I know life is crazy right now, right? Are you guys going crazy? Pandemic, worldwide. Not what we planned. Right after Christmas, can you believe it was only a few months ago? And now fast forward, where are we? So I'm holding one of my favorite pillows. Can you see that? It says blessed. And that is something I want to remind myself of. We are blessed. And yes, I have felt the panic. I have felt the fear. I have felt anxiety. I have felt claustrophobic. I have felt shut in on my home. I have felt the lack of friendship. I have felt the lack of people, just like you. But I'll tell you what, I'm trying to just rise above it, know that I have to go through it. There's nothing I can do. I have to go through this. We all have to go through this. But I'll tell you, I've been so encouraged. Let me just tell you a couple things that have been happening in our area. We have been given food, bags of food, odds and ends. And I've been going through them and I've been sharing them with someone. Someone had given us some meat that my freezers are full and I just didn't think we could fit it, nor did I really think I would use it. I didn't want to waste it. So I texted a friend and she said, you know what, I could use it. And she in turn came back and just gave me a really nice compliment on the text of what I mean to her. And that just brightened my whole day. And my parents are not that far from me, but far enough where I can't just run over there. And they were out of paper towels completely. And so a friend of mine that lives near my parents said, hey, how you guys doing? Do you need anything? I said, no, I'm good. She said, how are your parents? And I said, well, they're doing great, but they don't have any paper towels. She said, I have extra. So she put 2 rolls in a plastic bag and hung it on their doorknob, and I called my mom. She could run out and get them. And I'm just seeing more and more of at least people in my area, in my community, reaching out to each other. I'm running to the store. I'll text my friends, some of my coworkers, and say, hey, you guys need anything? This is the store I'm going to. What are you in need of? And they're doing the same for me. We're looking out for each other, more so than ever. You know, the Bible talks about do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And the golden rule that, you know, we grew up learning, we forgot to do that. When is the last time you called your neighbor and said, hey, do you need any soup or cans of vegetables, or I'm running to the store, what can I get for you? It just got me thinking a lot about that. I'm seeing more. I joined a Facebook group. Someone invited me, and it's called Rainbows Around the World or Over the World, something like that. Anyway, it's got pictures of the local area. So we're putting our picture of what we've done with rainbows, and then you put, from the town of so-and-so, and so everybody can see what everybody's doing. But it's, the promises of God. After Noah, he had a rainbow in the sky, and it was God's promise that he wouldn't do that again to the earth. And the rainbow has always symbolized promise and hope, and people need hope. So we decided to join in on this. So as one of we are now calling it life schooling instead of homeschooling projects that we did, is we started our front door, and I'll put some pictures at the end of this video of what we did. Very simplistic, nothing fancy. We wanted more of a stained glass look, so we started that, and we're going to do some more over the next few weeks. I've seen people do paper chains, where you cut strips and you staple them together, and they've done rainbows, and I'd like to do one of those over my fireplace. And it's just been really neat to see these little things that people are starting to do. I heard about, we live in a very close, near a large senior community. And one of the guests that come to where I work had called me the other day to tell me her 2 neighbors, one across the street and one next to her, were very lonely. So it was a beautiful day. They packed a picnic lunch. They all went out in their driveways, set up a little table and a chair, one across, one on the other side, and they all had their lunch in their driveway, plenty of, more than 6 feet apart, but they could talk. We need people. We need to Be with people, not just texting and not just watching on TV. You need to be communicating with people. I get it. FaceTime, Skype, getting out and waving to your neighbor across the street. Just that communication. We were designed to be with people. We need people. We don't need just electronics. But I'm finding all kinds of cool stuff that people are doing, and I just love it. So if you've done anything unique, or you have a picture to share, comment below. I'd love to know what you're doing in your local community to just uplift each other. And I could use some encouragement. So if you've done something, let me know in the comments below, because maybe it's an idea that I can use for a friend as well. And with all this craziness, I told you my channel will be a channel of encouragement. I want to encourage you to be encouraged. We will get through this. There is light at the end of the tunnel. It might not feel that right now. I'm in the tri-state area, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, even parts of PA. We're in a tight spot here, and I am in southern Jersey, so I'm not caught up in the North Jersey craziness up there. The numbers are higher up there. We're in a more rural area in the Pine Barrens. But with that being said, it's all around us. And I'm in good health. And my husband's, other than epilepsy, he's, he had a back injury, but overall he's in good health. We are taking our elderberry. We're taking some probiotics. I'm using oregano oil and thieves. I know some of you aren't into all that. That's fine. We're using all of our natural things that we have, along with our regular vitamins, and eating healthy, getting good sleep, getting rest. We're even taking a few naps now and again. It feels good now that we have more time, and just staying healthy. And we're doing the best we can to stay away from people, but you know what? It's in the air. It's there. So I can't stress over that. And I did have a cousin who passed away from COVID-19, and I don't know the circumstances surrounding it, but he did pass away, and he passed away very quickly. But I have to think that he probably had some more underlying issues. I don't know that for sure. But either way, if the Lord wanted him home, the Lord wanted him home. And I don't mean to sound harsh on that. I don't mean that in any way, shape, or form. But, it is appointed for a man to die at some point. And whether it was 9/11, we had Superstorm Sandy here, if it's COVID-19, if it's another issue, there's all kinds of things around. And that's one of the things I've said over and over and over too. Anytime I speak at a ladies' event or I talk to my friends, we have today. That's all we have. We only have today. Make today count. Make today be purposeful. Make today be the day that you make sure things are right with your loved ones, and that you're being kind and you're doing the right thing. Most importantly, make today the day that you know that your relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ is what it should be, that you have a personal relationship with Him. I just feel that I need to be bold and say that if you don't have a relationship with Him, you need to make sure of that. And if you have any questions regarding that, I'm not going to preach to you. I'm just going to share my heart on that. But if you have any questions, my email is listed below. You can leave me a comment below, and I would be glad to share what I know to be truth from the Bible, if you want to know anything about your relationship with Him. But getting back to some good stuff. So, let me think. We are in preparedness. We're doing it. We're getting ready. So we have had more time on our hands. Obviously, we have to have a lockdown, stay home, be home by 8 o'clock at night. At least in New Jersey, I have not kept up with the other states. We were supposed to be off the road by 8 p.m., not allowed back on the road. I think it's 5 a.m. I'm not even really sure on that. Our stores are all closed by 8 p.m., and so, obviously, if you're at the store and you're coming home, you can be on the road. But it's just to try and keep it a little bit more self-contained. So I have to admit, yes, I did a little panic shopping. I had about $150 credit with Amazon, and I went and I bought some peanut butter crackers and some soups and some things that I had delivered to the house when this first hit. But you know what? I have to tell you, here's an example. $150 will not go to waste. It's good food. It's shelf stable. It's good stuff. But let me say this. Let's backtrack a little bit. 9/11 hit us. We felt the effects. We are in New Jersey. New York's not that far from us. And we were not directly involved, but in the surrounding area, things were just not the same. For a long time, we felt it. Fast forward, we got hit with Superstorm Sandy. I'm sure many of you heard about that hurricane here in New Jersey. And we were the last house in our town to get our power back. I don't know why the Lord chose for us to be the last one, but we went 3 weeks without power and water. And it was tough. I'll tell you, it was a rude awakening to how much you use water, power, everything. And we stayed here for a while and in the house, and then it got to a point we needed to go somewhere else, and I ended up being able to get a room where I work, and we stayed there. But let me just say, it made me think about I need to have some food storage on hand, canned goods and things that I can quickly warm up, or I didn't need refrigeration for. We had a chest freezer and our refrigerator and the freezer above that, and we lost everything. 3 weeks into this, we lost everything. I had to throw it out. I couldn't cook it. Where was I going to store it? I didn't know what to do with it. So, long story short, I learned a lesson there. You think I learned a lesson. I say that, but my husband's smiling over here. But anyway, we did start a pantry, and I live in a very small house. I have one closet on my first floor, and it has been a coat closet. It has been my office. It was my craft closet. Then my husband used it for his tools and storage of things. And I said to him, over the last couple of years since Sandy, we have talked about year after year after year, we need a pantry, we need a pantry. And if you hear somebody snoring, by the way, that's my dog Kip. So I don't know if you'll hear that on the video, but he's quite loud. But anyway, we talked about a pantry. We tried something in the kitchen. We had a shelf in there. We tried something in the dining room. We tried it everywhere. It got to the point where we put stuff on this shelf, then we had stuff on that shelf and this and that after Sandy. And, we kind of got caught up in that, we're doing okay now, and you kind of lose sight of what you went through during that time. Now, all of a sudden, we're hit with a pandemic. And I said to my husband, enough is enough. We need to have a food pantry. There's the 3 of us in my house that live here. And my parents are not that far away, and we are their caregivers, so to speak, and, not caregivers, but we give them a lot of care, and they can handle themselves, but they're not driving, and they're older. We do need to care for them. So if you include them in my family, that's 5. My oldest son and his wife live not too far from us, so of course, they're still my kids. I don't care if they're 105 years old, they're my kids. And I always tell them, if we have it, we're sharing it. But including everyone, if I had to feed everyone, that's 7 people. So that's the way my mind thinks. I want to have enough for 6 months for 7 people. Now you might say, 6 months, are you crazy? I have people that laugh at me all the time because I love to can and quilt and do homemade from scratch crackers, and I like everything from scratch. That's just what I like. I like to do that as a hobby. Well, now where we are, you can't get flour, you can't get bread, you can't get some of your basics, and people are now going, what do I do? So, teaching people the basics of home ec, how to make bread, how to bake bread, maybe doing some flatbread in a skillet, or how to make crackers, or all kinds of stuff. Everybody's learning these things now. These are things that I have done for years. I've enjoyed homemade soups and so on. So with all that being said, I said to my husband, you know what? We've been through 9/11. We've been through Sandy. Now we're going through a pandemic. In my lifetime, when I was a kid when I grow up and have my own kids, I never thought these situations would be part of my life. My father used to talk about growing up in the Great Depression. he was a little kid and he grew up in that. And, you know, you hear those stories and how they would have to look for things and things were rationed and all of that. Now, if you go to buy a package of chicken, it's 1 per household, 1 gallon per milk, and so on. I'm not saying we're in the Depression, but those things are things that my dad grew up with, and they had victory gardens and they grew their own garden. And now people are sort of getting back into how can we do these things. So we are getting prepared. This Wilson household is getting prepared. I'm a true believer and a firm believer where it says a wise woman builds her home. Now my home consists of 3 people here. Add my parents, again 5. Add my older kids, that's 7. I am the woman. I need to be wise, and I'm building my home. So I say that to you because you might be a wise woman of 1. You could be a wise woman of yourself and your pet. You could be a wise woman with a larger family. Whatever your situation is, you could be a wise woman who is single, no one else in the household. You still need to be a wise woman, 1 woman, who builds her home. Whatever your home consists of, that's what you need to build up. So I am getting organized. I spent this weekend, it was a rainy day today, Saturday, cold and rainy and yucky here in New Jersey. If you ask my youngest son who has autism what's going on with this rain, he will tell you God is purifying this earth from COVID-19. He's a firm believer in that. And listen, maybe that's what God is doing. We have rain coming up over the next little while here in New Jersey, and maybe God is purifying the earth. But we have started our pantry. So at the end of this video, I'm going to show you some pictures and some clips of my pantry. Again, it's 1 closet. It's tiny. You can barely get in it. But it's what I have. So I'm wise. I have a closet. I gathered all my bits and pieces from my extras in my cabinets. Like I said, I did a little panic shopping there. Yes, you know what? Getting back to that, as I gathered my bits and pieces from this shelf, that shelf, this cabinet, and so on, of things that I already had, things that were given to me, I actually have to admit, and a little embarrassed to say, that as I was putting things neatly on a shelf, I said, oh, look, it fits perfectly. My husband's yelling out, oh, hang on, we have a few more bags of something. And I have an overabundance of certain items. And but you know what? Not to worry. They'll go to good use. I now can look at my pantry between what I have in my pantry, what I have in my freezers, things that I've canned, and I will also show some clips at the end of this, or pictures at the end of this video of things that I've canned over the last couple weeks. Everything that I have, if I gathered all the food that I have, I could probably, maybe not a roast chicken with gravy, mashed potatoes, and vegetables, have a perfect meal like that. But if I had to for 6 months, I could sustain my family. We could eat, we would survive on what I have in my home. And that is something I've wanted to do. So I'm excited to say that I was able to do that. And looking around, I do need to go out this week. I need some water, and I need to get some fresh fruits and veggies, and I think that might be it. But and we're okay for toilet paper. For those of you that, you know, the big question of this pandemic, do you have toilet paper? We're okay. We're not hoarding it. I don't have rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls. We have enough. And I learned a long time ago, some of you watch Andrea Mills. She was my all-time, I shouldn't say my only favorite, but one of my favorite people. And she had a phrase, and there's always enough. And there is always enough. And you don't panic. You don't need to run out. Here I did a little panic shopping. I spent $150. That was free money to me, but I probably could have used that for something else. But I can't change that. It is what it is. I bought the food. We'll use the food, and that's the end of it. But now that I'm getting organized and my pantry, everything's in one place, I can open it, see what there is. I'm going to be putting a bulletin board on the side wall and writing down like the staples that I want, how many I want to have on hand, how many do I have on hand, so I know when I need to go shopping what I need to get. So some of the other things real quick, and then I'll let you see my pantry. We've been watching some other videos of being prepared. Jamarelle Stewart, I love her. She's just a plain and simple mama of, I think she has either 8 or 10 kids, something like that. And she's going homesteading. She's just bought a new house. She bought turkeys and chickens and meat birds so she can, slaughter them and can them. And she's getting honeybees and she's planting a garden. And whew, well, you know what? I don't have the money for that. I'm talking small paycheck, very small budget. I don't know where you guys are, but if you have money, great. I'm so happy for you. I live on a tight budget. So if you're living paycheck to paycheck on a tight budget, you and I can be best friends. My husband and I do a seminar called Basic Budgets for Broke People. So if you kind of fall in that category, you can come join my club here. But she's doing all these things, and that's great. I'm getting a kick out of watching her, and I'm enjoying it. She has the means, she has the property, and everything. I live in the Pine Barrens. We have sandy soil, good for tomatoes. Jersey tomatoes grow great here, but we don't have really good soil here. But I'm going to be doing some container gardening, and I was going to do that the last 2 years. And I love parsnips and parsimony. And Janelle has a beautiful garden every year, and she keeps intriguing me on, I need to have a garden. So I said, the end of last summer, this year, I'm going to do it. If I grow nothing else, I want to grow pumpkins. That's been my dream. So I got some seed packets, and we're going to be growing that. I'll be showing you that as well. And so we're going to be prepared with that before the pandemic. But now pandemic is here. What am I doing? I now have a pantry. I have started my canning again. I haven't done canning in 20 plus years. I'm working on my canning. I'm working on my garden. I watched another YouTube video the other day on preparedness. They had an earthquake in Utah, and this family had bags prepped. They have a bunch of kids. And in these bags, they were backpacks or whatever, they had different things in there. And I said to my husband, we don't have anything like that. I have a grab and go bag, and I'll link that below of a video I did. So if I, last minute schedule change, soccer game, you have to run out here, there, or whatever, you can watch the video. But I have my bag that I call grab and go. I can grab and go, and I've got stuff in there to keep me busy. But it's not an emergency bag, and they talked about having that. So I'll be doing a video on that up and coming. But having a first aid kit in there and a change of clothes and a life straw, which is new to me. I don't know if you've ever seen it. You can get it on Amazon. But it's a straw that you can drink pretty much water from anywhere, and it purifies it. Anyway, having something like that. So I'm going to be putting together 3 emergency bags for us. Earthquake, tornado, hurricane, mudslides, good grief, fire in your house, whatever. We should be prepared. A wise woman builds her home. So I'm working on that. I'm going to get our emergency bags put together. I'm not panicking. Don't take it as that. But, using the noggin up here that, hey, it's time to do this stuff. I have the time, and I need to organize. I need to get ready. I need to be prepared. How many times have you been prepared and you never needed to use the stuff you had? But how many times are you unprepared and you're kicking yourself and said, if I only was prepared? And I'm finding myself more and more being unprepared for situations. And I'd rather be over-prepared. I want to have water on hand for 3 days for the family. You're supposed to have a gallon of water per person per day for 3 days. So I need to work on that. I need to work on our emergency bags, I'm working on the pantry, and I'm working on canning, and some videos will be coming up for that for you to see. What else am I doing? I'm doing more dehydrating, planting a garden. I'm really excited. These are things that not only in an emergency, but in everyday life. You don't know what's going to pop up. I could be sick for a week. My car could break down, and I can't get out to the grocery store. My husband has epilepsy, and if he had a bad seizure week, I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to go, oh no, I got to shop and do this and that and the next thing. So I'm getting ready. So ladies, come join me. Leave a comment below. How do you prepare? Are you Maybe you're a prepper. I'm not a prepper. I know some people say, 6 months, are you crazy? 6 months is not a long time to have food. Look at what we're going through here. You know, anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks, who knows? I don't have to go to the store now. I'm okay. And I feel good about that. I know people that call themselves preppers that have 2, 3, who knows how many years worth of food. I'm not doing that. But I do want to be prepared. One other thing I got to tell you, and then I'll show you my pantry, I promise. I was watching, what's her name? Let me think. Homestead Tessy, something like that. You can catch her on YouTube. I'm really enjoying her videos, but one of the videos she had is how to do a prepared food bucket every month and like plan for situations. And she doesn't have a lot of money, but she said she takes $5 a month, so that's $1.25 a week. So those of you that are like me, budget, not a lot of money, $5 a month I could probably swing. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can't. And so take $1 or take your pocket change and put it in a jar, and what you have at the end of the month in that jar, use that. But anyway, she always gets 1 gallon of water. She goes to the Dollar Tree. You can go to Dollar General, Walmart, Family Dollar, your local grocery store, whatever. But she goes to Dollar Tree and she gets 1 gallon of water. And then she gets 4 things. It could be a first aid item. It could be matches, a lighter, rice, a can of soup, whatever. But she buys 5 things a month, one of which is water, for $5. And she has buckets she stores this in. And you say, well, big deal. 1 gallon of water, what will that do? What? Listen, at the end of 6 months, she has 6 gallons of water. And she has 4, let's see, what's that? 4 other items times 6, 24 items in her emergency storage. That's probably more than most of you have right now. So I'm going to challenge you to do that with me. Let's all take $5 a month and start being prepared. Get a gallon of water at the end of the month. So let's start in April. How about that? Does that sound good to you? So let's start. I'm going to start in April. How about you join me? So in April, let's wait till the end of the month and let's pick a date. How about April 25th? Sound good? Mark that on your calendar. On April 25th, we're going to take $5 or whatever change you have in your jar. I'm going to go to the Dollar Tree. Maybe, you know what I'll do? I'll take you with me. You guys want to come? Let you see one of my Dollar Trees? We'll go in Dollar Tree. We might have to do it quietly because I don't think I'm really allowed to film in there. But I'll take you along on April 25th. And if the date changes, I'll let you know. Because I'm not sure on the calendar what day of the week. I think that's a Saturday, now that I think about it. So that might work. So we'll come with me. We'll go to the Dollar Tree. And if you're in the area, give me a call. We'll get together. We'll hang out together. By then, hopefully, the pandemic is over. And we'll pick our 5 things out. Now, in Dollar Tree, not always can you get a gallon of water, but you can get a 6-pack of water bottles. So maybe just get that if that's easier for you. But we're going to get water, and we're going to get 4 other items to put in our emergency prepared food kit. You ready? You excited? I am. So leave a comment below if you're going to join me, so I know how many people want to join in. If you're in the area and you want to come with me the day we do this, if the pandemic is over, we'll make it a date. I'll tell you what, if you're in the area and the pandemic is over, let's make it a real date. Let's celebrate. Maybe we'll go do lunch. Want to do that? Grab a cup of coffee. We'll do lunch. We'll hit the Dollar Tree and we'll all go shopping. So girlfriends out there, if you want to join me, you let me know. Leave a comment below. So let's see what else. We're getting prepared. We're getting organized. Let's get excited about this. We can do this. We're going to beat this pandemic. We're going to get our homes organized. We're going to get our homes cleaned because we have time. We're going to get a pantry. If you have a pantry, show me a picture below. I'd love to see it because I'm always intrigued on how people set their pantries up. I put mine together. It's not quite there yet. You'll see what I mean, but I'm working on it. If you have an emergency prepared kit done, send me a picture. I'd love to see it. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm learning just like everybody else, but maybe I can help you. And please, I'm going to jump into showing you my video of my pantry right now. But if you do not have a personal relationship with the Lord, and you're questioning your eternity, don't question it today. Make today your day. We only have today. So before today is over, make sure you got that right. I want to leave you with that. Now I'm going to jump in and show you what my pantry is coming along looks like. And at the end of this, I'll also leave you some clips of some of the other things that I've been doing with cleaning and organizing. You're going to see a mess and a half in my house. As you can see, ponytail, hair's up. I don't look so hot. Ratty sweatshirt right now. We're cleaning, we're organizing. If you came to my home right now, it looks like we're either moving out or moving in because I have every room pulled apart. But who cares? It's raining. It's a pandemic. It's time to get organized. It's time to clean. And I'll also at the very end put pictures of our rainbow theme that we put in our front door to start Rainbow Around the World. And if you don't know what that is, check it out. Hope. Be blessed. Okay, let's go over and move into my pantry. So this is just a quick view of the back of the pantry. It's still not completely organized. I'm just trying to figure out what I have, what I don't have, what I need, what I can pass on. So this is some oatmeal and some, let's see if I can squeeze in here, some salt, couscous, some rice that I was currently using, some Better Than Bouillon if you've never used that for soup, stews, etc. You have to try it. A couple of ranch and mayonnaise. I have, as you can see, tons of cans of diced tomatoes, tomato sauce things. I don't even know how many I got back there. And then a couple of jars of tomato sauce, paper towels that I already had in my stash prior to this craziness. My cans of stuff. I have my tomato sauce and let's see if I can get, it's kind of dark, but my corned beef. There's my potatoes and carrots. There's my ugly chicken and my chicken on a bone. Back there's some corned beef and some other goodies. Some basic crackers with peanut butter. That's always a good sustainable item. I've got my broths there, some cans of beans, some powdered milk for coffee. Of course, the emergency of all emergencies, ramen noodles. A stash of some water, vinegar for cleaning, oil, napkins, case of peanut butter, cups. The little individual ones, I take those to work a lot just for a quick protein. My husband takes those with his seizures. He always needs a little something. I've got tons of pumpkin and some bone broth and oddball fruit, jars of peanut butter, jelly and maple syrup, oddball things down here, macaroni and cheese down there. So that's just a few of the things that are in the stash in the back. Okay, up here we have, I got one of these, what do you call these, like, I don't know if there's a certain name for it, but for jars or for canned goods, I got that at Aldi's, really cheap. Some extra pasta over here, some K-cups and some instant tea for making chai tea, some tea bags and Splenda things and whatnot up there. So still trying to organize that as well. So we wanted to do some long-term storage for some items of dry goods and things, beans and rice and whatnot. And I haven't quite mastered how to do that yet. I'm still learning. So I need to get some Mylar bags and some oxygen absorbers and just learning how to can, either dry can. I know you could do flour and beans and all that, dry can in the oven, etc. So for now, I did see someone do an outdoor pantry on YouTube and they used Rubbermaid bins outside. I didn't like that idea. I didn't even like the Rubbermaid bins inside because I know mice and critters can nibble away at those. So I thought, I had this cooler in the basement. I actually have two of them. And, you know, pretty sturdy cooler, and we're not going on any picnics right now. So I decided to put flour, sugar, and cereal in one, which I'll show you next. And then in this one, we were gifted with, what do we have in split peas. And I have some lentils and navy beans. And sorry, the lighting is pretty bad in here, but there's kidney beans there. There's some rice, some granola bars, some cheese crackers. Whoop. The lentils are under there. And some more Kind bars. Some of these things, like the crackers and granola bars and Kind bars, are a quick snack, breakfast, or take grab and go things on the road. So we will go through those, but I don't need all of them in my kitchen right now. So I'm putting them in here, and I can close the lid. That can sustain those items for a while. I will be working on doing some long-term storage, learning how to do that, so I'll show you guys and you can come along with me. And it fits down here nicely. I'd actually like to do something with the ramen because I don't like that out. And I also have these crackers here, which, you know what, I wonder if they would fit. Let's see. Let's pull that down. Open this back up. Yeah! Look at that! I can fit that right in there. Whoop, maybe. Yep, perfect. Okay. So that can store in there, and then I can put things on top of this cooler, and that's a good idea. I like my idea. So that's one cooler. Let me show you the other one. Okay, so I have a tea cart of sorts that I put here, and then rice cakes we have in here. I love rice cakes, and they're good as an alternative to bread. So I have a bunch of those from Amazon, some chips, and this one we've already started, some juice, iced tea. I can put other drinks there. I don't know if I showed you, I have vinegar, and I use that for cleaning and for my wash, for fabric softener. And if you have stinky clothes from hardworking men or young teenage boys, vinegar takes all the smells away. And then I have some emergency water down there. We are working on our emergency prepared kits, and that's part of it. And then here's my other cooler, and that's on top of this tea cart here, and this is a bigger one. So in here right now I have from my Walmart order from a while ago, we love Life cereal. We're not big cereal eaters, but we do enjoy it once in a while for dinner at night. I know we must be getting old or something here. Some Honey Nut Cheerios, regular Cheerios. And here I have regular sugar. And here I have some flour. And I picked up some, my favorite King Arthur's flour. That's upside down, all-purpose, and I use the bread flour. I have down here some brown sugar, and I think I have in my kitchen a large bag of King Arthur flour, and some confectionate sugar because I couldn't find regular sugar, and then when I did I forgot to put that back, so we'll be putting that in here as well. And again, storage, I will want to dry can the flour. I picked up extra flour because I can make homemade bread, and you know, on certain times at first around here in New Jersey there was absolutely no bread to be found, so I picked up extra flour knowing that I can make scones, bread, English muffins, regular muffins, all kinds of stuff, flatbread, whatever. So anyway, that's a ring my husband gave me that I'm going to be putting my canning rings on, so that's going to be used. And again, a scan up there. This is a work in progress. This is by no means how I exactly want it, but it's a very tiny little closet. I can barely get in it, but it's the only closet I have in my house outside of our bedroom closet. So and there's a sticker. This used to be my husband's work closet with his tools, but he is deciding to move his things along. But that's one sticker left over from Rhodesia when he was born and raised there. So that's a little keepsake there. So for now, that's what we got. Okay, always finding new things here. So here's a old canning an old canning pot, and I've put potatoes in there. So I was gifted with, I think, 3 or 4 bags of potatoes. So I've canned some of them, as you can see there, with carrots and onion soup. And I'm going to put some in here for future. And it said to put them on some type of a rack. So the rack from the canning pot is in there, and I've put the potatoes. Now, I watched somebody the other day on YouTube who is an avid canner and prepper, etc., etc., and she had potatoes in something like this from August, and it is now March, and they kept well. So I don't plan on keeping these 6 to 8 months, but I thought I could store them in here for now. So put that on top of there, and then lo and behold, cleaning out the closet, I found some paper towels. So, and then also, I forgot we had more flour and confectionate sugar, like I said, so I put that in there. And then, oh my goodness, my husband goes, look, look, look. So we found more soup and more other stuff, and look at all these packages of cookie mix that I had bought for Christmas and forgot that I had it, so it's here. And this just goes to show you that when you do not have an organized system such as this, I had stuff stashed everywhere because I have a small house and I don't have a lot of room. But as I put this together, I can now see what I exactly have. I want to make soup, I know what stock I have. I want to make sandwiches, I know if I have mayonnaise. If I want to make breakfast, I have oatmeal, and so on. And because I'm gathering all my bits and pieces and putting them in here, I can now actually see what I have, so I don't have to buy. Here's an example. Somebody gives us peanut butter every month. I have 5 containers of peanut butter, plus that whole box down there, plus some in the kitchen. So I am stocked up with peanut butter. But you know what? One of the things I'm learning, don't waste money, store things properly, do things decently and in order, and it saves time, it saves money, it saves stress, and a wise woman builds her home, and that's what I'm doing.